After 15 trading days, the euro is finally on the move, and I'm going to show you in this video where the market is likely headed and my game plan for next week. So my name is Justin Bennett, full-time trader and founder of Daily Price Action. As always, all of this is my opinion only and not financial advice. So guys, I was out for a little bit, personal reasons. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I am back. All right, so looking at the Euro USD 4-hour time frame, we're also going to take a look at the DXY, the US dollar index in this video to really get a complete picture of where the majors are likely headed over the coming days. So obviously it's been a very sideways market across most of the Forex market, at least the majors, over the past few weeks. And a lot of that, most of that really just has to do with the indecision that we've seen out of Iran. Obviously the negotiations back and forth, it's really just been kind of a mess here for the past few weeks. However, the euro is finally on the move. So everyone take a little sigh of relief here. We're finally getting the markets moving again, which is nice to see. Now, this right here, okay, this is the 4-hour time frame. And what you can see is that the euro has been trending lower since the high back here in January. And that's really what's key, because this market so far is making lower highs and lower lows. And that's exactly what I've mentioned in recent videos. So right now, what you can see is we have a bearish change of character over here. Okay, now this was a bit speculative because of this shallow pullback right back here. But like I said in recent videos, this right here, the fact that the market was making lower highs and lower lows, and also the fact too, don't forget, whenever you're confused about what's happening on the lower time frames, don't be afraid to move out to the higher time frames. That is often the best thing you can do. And right now, what you can see is that we have this change of character back here in March. So ever since we got this, right, we had the BOS above this high back here. So we closed above, well above that high, and then we closed below the external low over here. Now, the moment that we got that, the euro technically flipped from bullish to bearish. Okay, longer term. I'm talking the 2025 rally that we saw back here, higher highs and higher lows, that came to an end with this right here. Now, the reason we got the rally is because we had this imbalance back here. Also, markets don't move in a straight line, obviously. So once you get this change of character, you're not looking to short down here. You're looking to short on a mitigation of this imbalance back here. We've talked about this now for weeks, really months. So with the euro making lower highs and lower lows, guys, I have been bearish. I've been saying that in videos. And you can see here where we are getting a continuation of this downtrend. Okay, now this move right here, I want to show you something too, that I don't just talk about this stuff after the fact, because you can see here, this is what I posted a few hours ago in Discord. So this right here was the idea of the euro potentially heading lower. You can see I have the arrow drawn down here toward this area. You can see where the market was trading around 115.90. And so far it is down, quite a bit from those levels. So this is what I told members, a few hours ago when the market was breaking down. So right through here, when the euro was breaking this, you can see we had to close below and the retest and the sell-off. Now, if you guys want to join Discord, here's what you need to do. So on the screen, you're going to get access to a free SMC training. Click on that link, sign up. It is completely free. That's 2 hours of content that you will not find on YouTube. That's going to show you exactly how I trade SMC full time. If you want to join us in Discord, then beyond that, once you sign up to that free course, you will have the offer to join Discord if you want for lifetime access. Okay, so you're going to get my ideas in there. You're going to see my trades in real time. You're going to get the full SMC course and just full access to Discord with 2,000 members and my help with your trading in there every single weekday. All right, so right now, guys, the euro is breaking down. We're seeing a breaking down from this bearish flag pattern. Okay, so pretty clean here on the 4-hour time frame. And this is what I mentioned in Discord too. Again, you can see where we had the close below and the retest. Now, as far as where the euro is likely headed, okay, we have to remember that the daily time frame is technically bearish. It has been since back here in March. We've come up, mitigated this imbalance. We're making lower highs and lower lows. So when we look at the 4-hour time frame, where is the most likely area that the euro is likely to test next week? Now, if you look back here, what you'll notice is that we have this low right back here, so 115, and then right around like 114.75. The reason this is significant is on the 4-hour time frame, what you'll notice is that we have this high right back here. And you can see we had this displacement up. We got the pullback, okay, and we mitigated a large part of this imbalance, at least this candle back here. However, we never came back here toward this imbalance, okay? So there is a fair value gap down here, again, right around 114.75 that we could see the euro mitigate next week, okay? So as long as this trend continues, which, so far it's been a really aggressive trend here on Friday following non-farm payroll. If this continues, then this is going to be my target for next week, okay? Now, obviously, it is Friday. We're going into a weekend and the market is down significantly from where I called that in Discord up here. So you don't want to chase this lower, because the lower we go here and the closer we get toward this area, the more likely it is that we're going to see buyers step in and defend this. Now, again, too, we're going into the weekend. So do you really want to hold a trade over the weekend with everything going on in the Middle East? Probably not. Okay, so if you caught this here, if you're in Discord, with us, then, well done. That was a nice little trade on Friday. If you are not, though, and you didn't catch this, in my opinion, you might just want to hold off until next week to see if we get some type of retracement next week into these lows. And then from there, potentially the move down here toward 115, possibly 114.75. Okay, and then beyond that, we could see a bounce from there. However, I am still bearish on this market. And again, it just goes back to the daily time frame, guys. Don't get caught up on the lower time frames, like the hourly time frame, even the 15-minute, things like that. Even the 4-hour time frame really hasn't told you much over the past few weeks. The daily time frame, though, has really been kind of the North Star here, in my opinion, just because you can see, again, higher highs and higher lows back here. We had the change of character. Since that time now, we're forming this sort of rounded top for the euro, okay? So even though this area down here around 115, possibly just below, could offer some support for the euro short term, keep in mind that this trend right now is technically bearish, okay? So if we look at this on, let's go to an 8-hour time frame, right, and map this out. Now, I'm not here to forecast, but if we were to get a bounce from these lows down here somewhere in this pocket, then if this imbalance stands, in other words, if we see the euro move aggressively lower toward here, then we could see the market bounce from here, come up here, mitigate some of these imbalances, and then potentially give us another shot at a short for the move down here toward this low. Okay, again, not here to forecast, not here to make predictions. It's really just about trading what is on the chart in the moment. Okay, so that's really my game plan for the euro. I mean, right now I'm looking for lower down here toward 115, possibly 114.75 before we get maybe a bounce from there, buyer stepping in and coming up here to mitigate some of those, any buy side imbalances that form. Now, looking at the DXY, you can see obviously essentially the inverse of the euro. And we've also talked about this now for weeks. Okay, so back here, you can see we had this descending channel that formed, okay? And we broke out through here. Now, we never did get the pullback down here toward this imbalance. That's okay though, because again, if you look at the euro, right, this breakdown here on Friday, this right here was your indication that we were not likely to get the move higher. Furthermore, like I've said in recent videos, the key thing here for the euro is that the longer we went sideways, okay, the less likely it was that we would get the move up here first. And the reason for that is you can see that I mentioned this in the last video I made before I was out for a little bit. You can see the highs back here. This is the top of that channel. So the idea is that if this market was going to continue lower, which was my base case, then the odds of a push up here into this region was less likely because we had the top of this channel, okay? So the idea here is that, again, the longer the market went sideways, the less likely it was that we were gonna get a push up here before lower, okay? And this here on Friday was your indication that the market was ready to move down toward 115. Okay, so let's flip back to the DXY here, the US dollar index. And again, like the euro, basically the inverse of this, what you can see is that in 2025, we had the downtrend, we had the BOS back here. That made these highs up here the external highs. We closed above this, giving us a bullish change of character. So all in all, guys, when you look at this trend, since 2025, really we have the downtrend, okay? We have the trough, and now we have a potential rounded bottom forming, okay? So I am bullish on the US dollar. Furthermore, too, like I've said in recent videos, if you go to a weekly time frame, it is glaringly obvious, right? The imbalances back here for the DXY. You have some imbalances back here, of course, but then this region through here, right around like 106 to 105, this region through here really stands out, okay? So if the DXY is going to continue higher and continue to make these higher highs and higher lows like we've seen recently, then this area up here, 105, 106 is, potentially a target going into the second half of 2026. I know that's a bold statement, a big target, but the chart doesn't lie, okay? And again, you can see on the monthly time frame here, we've talked about this as well. I know it's hard to see with all the labels through here, but we've talked about this many, many times where you can see the lows down here, the highs up here. You've got this nice symmetry from the DXY, and the market is coming off of this level, okay? And again, you can see on the monthly time frame for the DXY, it is glaringly obvious where these imbalances are for this market, okay? I mean, look at this move right here. Look at the displacement, okay, from this high up here. On the monthly time frame, you've got FVGs, fair value gaps like this right here. This entire region up here around 106 is an imbalance, okay? So it's a bold call. I know, I understand that with the market still trading below 100, but if this continues, then that is going to be a longer term target for me, okay? Now, As for the DXY, where could we top out here next week? Because obviously we know the market's not just going to move, straight higher. It is going to move in potentially waves. So obviously we have the highs back here, which if you take a look at the 4-hour time frame, another area of confluence could be on the 4-hour chart. You see these lows right down here. Okay, so this low here connected with this high. Markets love symmetry. We talk about this all the time. And while there is no guarantee that something like this right here does introduce selling pressure for the DXY, when you consider the fact that it is very close to these highs back here. Okay, so if we draw a level across here, notice how this intersects sometime, next week. Okay, so going into the middle of next week up here, right around 100.5, I would expect sellers to come out here and defend this. Now, it doesn't mean you just want to go out there and blindly short the US dollar, because again, longer term, the market is showing a lot of bullish potential. Okay, but if you are short the euro, or if you're short other major currency pairs, whether it be the pound or the Australian dollar, whatever it might be, then this area up here on the DXY is going to be one to watch, where you might want to take some profit, at least a partial profit, because we are likely to see the market rotate lower and pull back from here. Okay, now again, we could spike above here. It doesn't mean that we are going to pull back right here from this exact level, but I just think that 100.4, 100.5 is going to be an area to watch on the DXY. Okay, so pretty clear from this, but again, longer term, this market is starting to look more and more bullish, with it making these higher highs and higher lows and coming back here to test these highs as well. And again, the daily time frame has really kept me straight, at least looking at this chart, because despite the sideways action for the last few weeks, this right here on the daily time frame, this change of character back here is what told me that this right here was likely to be bullish. So even though we didn't get the pullback down here into this imbalance, I was still bullish on the US dollar. And again, you look at the Euro USD here on Friday, and the price action with the market dropping below this flag pattern, that was your cue right here. We had the close below, okay, close below, retest right off of that level. That was your cue right there, that we were likely to just start moving lower instead of coming up here toward this imbalance. So that's it for today's video. Keep it locked in here. Subscribe to the channel. I will have the SMC Outlook video out tomorrow on Saturday, so stay tuned for that. And check out the video right here too on the screen. That's going to show you exactly how I trade SMC using breakup structure and change of character. So until tomorrow, trade well out there. I will talk to you then.